Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. Welcome to the In the Arena podcast, guys. We have the BBSI team. We've had Glenn before. So if you haven't checked out Glenn's episode,
our local man
last year, it was great. And then today he brought his risk guy, Mr. Jim.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming today, guys.
James
Thank you for having me.
Well, actually, goes by Jim.
Yes.
So, again, our audience is our business owners, and we're looking to help them learn how they can scale and grow their business and how they can do that in the right way. BBSI has a ton of tools, and what we want to focus on today is how Glenn is able to add value to these businesses as they kind of go through that growth phase, and how he kind of pulls on his team at BBSI to bring more of a national, bigger picture look at the business, but also have a local touch from Glenn. So I'm glad you guys are here today.
Appreciate having us.
And then I got, of course, Lauren here. She's the compliance risk
the sound
guru.
effects.
Yeah, and the sound effects lady. So she's going to add more value to me than me today, probably. But just working with BBSI and just being a part of Glenn's circle, he's always asking to add value to the community, and so I'm excited to tell more about what y'all are doing. So, Glenn, why don't you kind of touch on BBSI again, and then we can bring in Mr. Jim.
Yeah, so we're a PEO, BBSI nationally. So we do payroll, HR, risk compliance, but more at a local level. We're not just giving you a system to run payroll and saying good luck, be about your day. You know, we're hands-on. You get a local point of contact, whether it's risk with Jim. He's out of the Dallas market, but he flies in to help our customers. HR, payroll, and business partner. So basically just direct contacts. We don't have 1-800 numbers. We don't believe in them. You get everybody's cell phone. And just, people is our product. We're here to be personal, know your business, know where you live, and not try and come in and just change everything, but be an asset to, hey, this is where you live now. Where can we get you to that fits your business, your industry.
Yeah. And we can personally attest to that because we don't use all the services because we're lucky enough as lawyers, obviously, to handle some things on our own like most companies cannot. Yep. But we do. We have a team. We have a quarterly review, and they get to listen to me jab at them at least for a little bit. But Tracy is just loving the direct access and the support that she gets. So we very much appreciate y'all for the services that you provide to us. And it's nice because sometimes when you get the bigger companies, you're excited about the resource, but then you're let down, right? Because you lose that personal touch or you get lost in the client list. And it's just refreshing to work with a company that actually does it right. And we really can pick up the phone at any point, or I can send a text when something goes wrong, and that solution's right there.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, Mr. Jim, let's talk about what does a day in life look like for you? I mean, y'all have businesses in every aspect of business, right? All the different industries, all the different aspects of that. When you're working with a business that Glenn connects you with, how do you approach the situation just from the start?
Well, basically, I'm going to analyze what the type of the business it is, see what they're doing, where they are they in compliance, out of compliance? I'm going to say, since I've been with BBSI for 10 years already, and I'm going to tell you 50% of the business owners have no clue because they don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they don't know.
Yeah. They know when something goes wrong, but they don't know beforehand.
Well, when it goes wrong, that's when I get that phone call faster to help them out. Some of them just don't realize that you need to have workers' compensation and all your other policies. I'm going to analyze what's that, is it risky for us to take on? Or is it something that they've had claim problems in the past, but it's something I can help them with? Come up with a plan of action to mitigate those claims in the future, to make sure that, somebody doesn't slip, trip, fall off a ladder or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. I do all of the OSHA training, and some of our clients want it and some of it don't. but some of the clients want it, especially when OSHA shows up.
Absolutely. They need it.
Yes.
They might not want it, but they need it. So I find in the businesses that I deal with that risk mitigation and compliance is always spoken about in abstract. So what I would love to do for everybody is just start identifying a couple of industries and then name one or two risks that are directly associated with that industry, and the support that you provide, right? Everybody's heard of OSHA compliance. They know that that's a thing because, again, it's required. They need it. But walk me through. Just pick maybe 3 industries and then 1 or 2 risks associated with each.
I'm going to pick construction.
Yes. Oh, big one.
And I'm going to pick construction for one reason, because OSHA picks on construction. Doesn't matter if it's commercial or residential. And the biggest problem there today is ladder safety.
So simple.
Yes.
So simple, yet no policies, right?
Well, and did the culture of the company start from the top and don't care that the employees are trained?
Absolutely. Every time. I grew up in a construction family.
Small one, very small.
And it's interesting that the employees, they want to be trained, most of them. I'm going to say 90%, they want the training.
And the other 10% probably need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Weed them out.
Yeah. And that's where...
So how do you practically help with ladder safety?
Basically do a hands-on training. And it's not just piece of paper. We're going to show you, hey, you do this, 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 and this, and look at it. I actually go in the field, put my boots on, put my hard hat on, and I will train in the field. That's something I've changed ever since COVID. I decided that I didn't want to sit in the classroom because I found out the classroom isn't always effective.
Well, I think most workers, and I mean, it's obviously generalizing, but they're hands-on learners. That's why they went into that industry. That's why they're good at a skill and a task and not necessarily good in a classroom. So I do think you need to meet your clients where they are. So I'm excited to see that y'all made that adjustment for them.
Yeah, I just found greater success being in the field. And, I got blue jeans on. I got, whether it's cowboy boots, hiking boots, steel-toe boots, whatever it is. I wear the gear that I have to wear, whether it's ladder safety, forklift certification, fall protection, whatever it might be. I just basically go right in the nitty-gritty with the guys in the field. Actually, I drive a pickup truck, so I pop open my tailgate sometimes, and we do it right off the back of the truck. And it works. And I've gotten the guys or gals to basically ask questions, to get involved instead of like, oh, yeah, this is boring, And again, will I say sometimes are the compliance rules a little out of whack? I always tell them, come up with a new solution to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm. So what does it practically do for a business that's gone through a training like that? I mean, obviously you're trying to protect your employees, but how does that protect the business on the back end? Do you get does that clear you for making insurance claims? And if you don't have these types of trainings or these types of documentation in your SOPs, and you might not qualify for collection on insurance, something happens?
Well, not the collection. The claim was always going to get paid. Well, 99% of the time. 99%.
Most of the time.
When it comes to, and I'm going to use, and it doesn't matter which type of business it is the insurance companies now are asking, do you have this safety protocol in place and written? Just in my last couple of days spending with Glenn for the businesses we just saw, I uncovered talking to them because they didn't know.
Right.
Is they need a safety manual. They never had one. They don't even know where to start. That's the things I help build them. Yeah. And I've been in the insurance business, I shouldn't say 40 years already. And I found so many people just don't know. And I will help them. I don't just say, yeah, this is what you need. I basically tell them, here's my template. You got to sign off on it, but I'll build it for you.
But it does practically, you can get credits. And then some underwriters, if you're growing and scaling, which is a lot of our clients in this, in this area, you're scaling and you need a bigger insurance company. When you go through those bigger companies, the underwriters require it. So it's either sometimes requiring it to even bind the policy and or get you the credit. So it's totally worth your time and energy. And then yes, the longevity of it is over time you have less claims because people are being safer. So it's really like threefold, but reducing your cost of business is definitely a direct impact.
Well, and then on top of that, it's also building a culture, right? Like what y'all are great at Arena, like.
Oh, gee, thanks.
You're welcome. So like, what kind of culture are you building? If you have these SOPs and this, these trainings and everything, and it's set up like that, you're going to have more buy-in from your employees. And I think that's what we're able to help with too. And it's doesn't cost you any extra. It's, again, we're living where you're living and we're helping you out where you need help. And we're walking through your business. So we know your business. We know what you're doing day to day, what you're getting involved in, or, hey, I'm getting involved in something new. Hey, we got 50 of y'all across the nation? Like,
oh no, there actually is 125 of us.
There you go.
Of you? But you're special, Jim.
Exactly.
We only want you, Jim.
Right. So we can pull resources from them and say, hey, look, like, do you have a client that's specifically done this, and be able to pull and help that client with what they're looking into. Something they may not know, they may not be involved in, and they're trying to get into the business, and we can help them. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, but from a practical standpoint, though, help me understand. When you said you're going and assessing the business, right? Like you're looking at their SOPs and documentation, and then looking at their training protocol, and you're assessing whether what they're doing is allowing them to get the best insurance premiums potentially, and making sure they can scale into where they're going next as they grow, mitigating their claims. Are you actually going out with the guys afterwards to make sure they're following the protocol, or like watching how they're doing their job to say, okay, we got to work on this, and this?
The answer is yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll literally go out on a job site. If it's a restaurant, I'll go in the restaurant. On a construction site, one day I spent 4.5 hours out there just observing what the guys are doing and taking my notes, taking my video, my pictures, and then compiling the information back, meeting with the owner. And if I can get the owner to always buy in of what needs to have corrective actions, and if we can prevent those claims, it might help prevent the insurance rates to go up. And especially contractors is an experience modification. If that goes above one, most of the guys lose their contracts.
Yep.
And it hurts them. So my goal is always with them to help mitigate those claims with the best practices of safety culture to make sure that stays below. And I work with them on trying to reduce that.
And see, what I particularly like is y'all are taking a holistic approach, because my problem a lot of times when you bring in compliance or risk mitigation consultants is they are looking specifically in their area, just like an auditor would, right? So they're not considering the cost associated, the different options of those changes associated that just may not fit that business at that time to build them a scalable process. When you work with you all, you're looking at that holistic approach, because Glenn's already engaged in the business. He's already looking at those finances from the payroll perspective to say, I understand this may be costly, but we can make this fix for now, and then we can plan to make this fix within a year, right? And so it ties in that practical consideration with the legal or the compliance consideration for the fix.
And we're not just coming in there saying, okay, y'all been doing this, we're changing everything, you got to do this. We're saying, hey, let's sit down, let's have a round table, and let's figure out how we can improve, how we can live in your world and make it fit, not just you're doing it all wrong here.
Right. And you brought up a second industry that I really want to touch on, because we work with a lot of restaurants, right? And we, obviously don't love to handle any claims against the restaurants, but we know that it happens. Bars, restaurants, slip and falls, it's a thing. So talk to me a little bit about your work with restaurants, the most common, minor, small adjustments that you see can be made that would help them.
One of the biggest ones, and this is an actual true case, is one of the restaurants I work with. It was a pizza restaurant, so they're always making dough all the time. Mm-hmm. And one morning, the chef goes and pulls a 40-pound bag of flour out to start doing the dough, and didn't realize that there was ice on the floor, slipped, fell with a compound fracture, and actually the claim was about $500,000. And he will actually never go back to work. I mean, he can walk, so that's a good thing. But my recommendations to that business owner was, where is the floor drain next to that ice machine? It should be simple.
Yeah.
Because I found out he moved the ice machine for convenience away from the floor drain. I made my recommendations. He didn't do it. And now we have a $500,000 claim.
Right.
And
a drain that already existed.
Yep.
No cost to move it back where it needed to be.
No.
But just out of harm's way to avoid something major. Yeah.
He actually went against what my recommendations were, but I can't force anybody to do anything. I'm just giving them the best recommendations to hopefully prevent that.
Right. And again, that's not a bad business owner too. I always like to highlight that. Like, we work with the best, restaurant owners, because all of our clients are the best, right? They are amazing at what they do of servicing the community and providing good food and providing a good environment. They are not trained on risk mitigation, on safety, on compliance. And so it's not that they're making bad business decisions, is that they didn't surround themselves with the resources or give respect to the resources to understand that's in their best interest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And from my standpoint, I'm always like trying to make things more efficient, so I can definitely be on.
You would do that. You would be the guy that moved the ice machine.
Yeah, you walk into the day, you're like, wait, this guy's walking all the way across the room to get ice, and he needs it every 5 minutes.
Yes,
let me move it right here. Right. And they make his life easier. We can get more pizza made in that hour. So, I mean, I can see where that can practically happen and make sense, but then you don't think about, the power goes out for an hour and the ice melts, and now you got water on the floor, and then it refreezes, and now you've got a mess on your hands.
Yep.
So, I got an industry to ask you about, and this might not be something you've thought about, but if
you didn't know we were going to test you, huh?
Firm? Yeah.
I studied.
Yeah. If you own a media company,
yes,
and you're bringing equipment places and you got wires and things and all, like what is, practically speaking, how do you go into that situation and advise somebody? And do you walk into a room with a bunch of wires on the floor and be like, oh, this is...
Yes, it has happened.
There are wires everywhere.
We had a lot of conversation about that.
Yeah.
The big thing is making everybody aware. If you can't, move the wires to a different location, make everybody aware of what that surface is. And I basically call it walking, working surfaces. And basically having people aware of that. Is it conducive to go and cut holes in the floor and plug this in there? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Do you cover it up with it's actually a cord cover over the top of it? Yeah, you can do that. Sometimes you just can't.
Like y'all, when you're moving it around every time y'all do a different podcast?
Yeah.
Kind of not really.
So we'd walk in the door and be like, there's cords, there's lights, watch your step, watch your head.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, is being aware of your surroundings. And sometimes that's all I can do. And, is there a protocol for this? Not necessarily.
I just love that you're choosing that from a practical standpoint, that you're not going to go demand that somebody cut holes in the floor when it's just not practical, right? No. But you can make the recommendation to check it out to see if it is.
I mean, I love going into any type of business, finding hopefully I never find anything wrong. But
you're always going to find something wrong, Jim.
There's always one thing.
Always.
Is I love finding a solution for it.
Yeah.
And if it's the least expensive way to do it, fantastic. But
that's my favorite way, is the least expensive way.
I mean, I just like finding that solution. It's rewarding.
Sure.
To do that.
It's problem solving. It's preventing things from happening until after. And a lot of times you can't know how detrimental it is until after something like that happens. But you've gone around to enough businesses across the country to tell people like, hey, I've had experiences of this happening, and we could have solved this problem by not moving the ice machine. Yeah. Right. From a practical standpoint, I'm a business, and I'm trying to figure out what point I need y'all services. Right. Is it from day one whenever I open my doors, or is it at a certain point in the process where you're scaling and you need to create that leverage? What do you think the most optimal time for y'all to come in and either do a risk assessment, but also for Glenn too, just to offer BBSI services in general?
That's a Glenn question.
Yeah, sooner the better. Obviously, I mean, we scale with you, so we're not coming in and saying, hey, we're going to charge you $100,000 to get to cover our salaries to start. We're not doing that. We're coming in saying, hey, this is where you live now. Again, meeting you where you live. This is how we can help now, and as you grow, we can grow with you. And that's how BBSI has been successful across the nation is being able to honestly get started on the ground floor with companies and then grow with them and give them more and help them more and put in more policies and more procedures and more help. So really the sooner the better. Once you get to a certain point, it's kind of hard to go back and, build the culture. It's kind of hard to go back and say, hey, look, we've been doing this for 10 years now. Let's go back and change everything.
Change is hard.
It's hard, Can it be done? Absolutely. Are we there to help you? Absolutely. But it's easy. It's a lot easier and a lot better process for the culture of the company and for us to come in early.
Yeah. And I can answer that a little bit more too, just in businesses in general. The beauty behind doing it early on is you just eliminate the pain that you would otherwise go through, right? They always say that you could do it the hard way and you can get started. And that is a trait of most successful entrepreneurs. I mean, there's sometimes that we probably could have waited a little bit longer to do something,
Just
but
dive in.
we're taking that step, right? And there's a beauty to that. And I don't ever want to stop anybody from doing it. So if you're able to just run full steam ahead just because you have a team behind you pointing things out that you can decide if you want to address, that's the beauty of it. So don't think that you're necessarily going to have to bring somebody on that's going to like put chains on you and slow you down. Let them be part of your ecosystem, and I think you'll fit well into that.
Yeah. I had another question I was going to ask you, but it slipped my mind. I'll tell you, like one of the things that I've really enjoyed with you guys is that you're not walking in the door once a year and doing a review. It's the constant contact that you're spending with us, but also partnering with us on a local level to say, like, Mr. Jim's coming to town. What value can we add to your community by bringing him in and talking to him? Right? Yeah. We have the podcast, so we can be a little bit more intentional about doing things to get it broadcasted, right? But we can also do local events and stuff like that. And I know you've been talking about adding to the local team here, right? Yep. Because you're scaling your business in the same way, right? You're trying to add more value to the community. So where are you in that cycle of your business trying to grow? Yeah,
so we're actually putting in an office in Pallet. So that'll be coming as soon as they open. Hopefully, we're trying to get all
exciting.
Exciting. So excited about that. So shout out to them. But I know y'all put a podcast in there, so hopefully we'll be involved in a lot more of these. And then hopefully by the end of the year have an a local HR person.
Yeah, they're looking for somebody to fill the HR role for this region.
So
very cool.
So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have somebody out there. So if y'all are out there and have an HR background and looking for a job, let us know. We'll send your resume up. But yeah, so that's a growth process there.
And like, what is HR? I mean,
just HR consultant. So just like Jim's. Risk and safety, we're going to have an HR consultant will come in and sit where you live, whether it's you got an HR person and we're helping the back office, like, hey, y'all got HR? Great. You got an HR person. Does she have time to go through the handbook every year? No. Does she have time to do an assessment form and create a new one for a job position? No. Well, get with us. We'll do it for you.
Create that leverage for you.
We'll take a lot of the back office, driving down the field work out your plate.
Yeah, because I mean that's not usually the most dollar productive activities, right? I mean, never. From my standpoint, if you asked me to do the HR part of our business, I would run very fast the other direction.
Right,
yeah,
right. It's a lot of stuff is time consuming.
Yeah,
and it's quasi-legal. It's quasi-legal. I mean, we get so many questions on that. So. Mm-hmm. Having that as an outside available resource to small business owners is huge because that is a pain point in their side. I mean, your people are your business. So if you don't handle it properly, you're going to be in trouble. And there's some pretty hefty fines associated with doing hiring and firing practices, wrongfully.
Yeah.
So.
And the lack of awareness that most business owners have on those processes is the biggest thing. Even if you have somebody that comes in as your HR manager, the still understanding the business and understanding the industry is huge. And I like the fact that you are third party consultant to somebody who's in house for somebody else because, like we have a Tracy and she's great and y'all come in and kind of watch her back to make sure that she's doing everything the right way. I think that's a big deal. Just as a business that's looking to grow, having that director of operations that's there to support the staff so they can operate at the highest level and they're not looking back, having to do double paperwork for insurance and benefits like stuff. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and again, if you have an HR person, great, we can help them in every aspect that they need. If you don't, and we need to work with one of your managers because they're acting as an HR person, same thing. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to us. We're just here to help you as a business owner. And you talk about, wanting to do more stuff in the community and stuff like that. Yeah, like we are big into, if you're a contractor and you've got 40 subs that are roofers and you want us to come do a training for roofing for your subs, let us know.
Nice.
Like stuff like that. We're not, hey, here's a whiteboard. Here's our line of what we do. And this is what we do. we do whatever we need to help our business owners and our clients and the community. So whether that's Home Builder Association wants us to put something on, let us know, we'll do it. Sherm wants to put something on, let us do it. Whatever the parish needs, the city needs, let us know. Let's see how we can help.
Yeah. You have boots and jeans other than your fancy alligator
Oh,
boots.
yeah.
You get up on
Yeah,
the
I
roof
like my
too.
alligator boots. Hey man, we got a couple tags. Here, got 6
Yeah.
tags coming up. We're gonna go get us
We
some.
start hounding everybody. We
Yep.
know who got tags.
Who got
Who won
tags?
the lottery?
Everybody putting.
We did
tags
not
in.
win the lottery
I know.
this year, so
all
we
right.
do not independently have tags. But you gotta, send all your friends.
Exactly.
Find somebody.
Exactly.
You ever been alligator hunting, Mr. Jim?
No, I have not.
I just want to know is if I get bit while I'm taking them out, I'm with clients, right? I mean, that's still workman's comp claim, right?
No,
What? Come on.
they did not sanction that event. They didn't pay for your boat gas. I got you. I got
You're
you, Jim.
spot on.
They didn't pay for that boat. They didn't pay for your gas.
Now, if it's a company BBSI sponsored event,
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I'm going to answer the question with maybe.
Maybe. Sounds like you're legal
But
answer.
Jim's gonna make sure that everybody signs that waiver that
That's
we
right.
drafted
That's right.
before they go out
And
there.
I'm going to prove it
That's right.
after you write it.
That's right.
Well, look, this is great. I think that this is something business owners aren't aware of. And especially people. The medical world. We didn't talk about that a ton. You got a lot of small pop up nurse practitioners doing some things, and I'm sure that there's a ton of red tape around that type of stuff that you got to work through to make sure that you're keeping compliant on different things. And obviously talked about the food industry and construction. We do a lot of real estate, and so it's good for our clients to hear this type of stuff. So, I look forward to people hearing this and us being able to pass things on to Glenn and hopefully get in touch with Mr. Jim. But
I want to do one more thing
yeah,
before we hop off. He's got all these fancy certifications.
I do.
Run through them.
What do I have? I
This
don't
is
remember.
what it is, and this is what it does.
I was
Tell
gonna
us
say,
about
what do
it,
I
Jim.
have? What do I have? Oh, my first one. And it's actually a CRIS, which is a construction risk and insurance specialist. I actually did that back when I was an insurance broker.
Yeah.
Actually, many, many years ago. It's actually being able to help coach business owners on what the appropriate coverages that they need. Not
Love
just
that. We get that question all the time.
So actually in the policy, not day to day, but actually in the policy of what they need covered.
yes, just little
The
things.
type of policy with endorsements.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will go through that with them. And actually, I met with one of our other clients yesterday. Fantastic guy. And also, if you don't mind, I'll say it. It's Flowers by Kent.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
great guy.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, great guy. And we just started chatting. I mean, I spent like an hour and a half with him yesterday. And
he likes to chat. He's good. Yeah.
But the thing is, I started asking him a couple questions. So actually, I'm going to review all of his insurance policies.
Nice.
I don't review anybody's policies unless they're a BBSI client. Because I also used to be a consultant for insurance back in the day. And I love that and say, yes, your policies are perfect. No, it's not. You need a little bit tweaked into something. And I just want to make sure that they have possibly the best coverage possible that they can get. Because I don't want to see them have a claim and it doesn't
And
get
it not be
paid.
covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or shut down their business.
Right. Affects operating capital. All right. Next.
Next one is actually the OSHA 30 hour for general industry and construction.
That big boy.
Yeah. I teach everything in that, but I'm not a certified trainer for the OSHA 30s, but I teach everything that's done in in those classes. I have chosen not to do that, and I have enough resources almost in every state to send them out, and I've worked out discount programs with them with anybody who's with BBSI.
Perfect.
But I can train it.
All right.
Now, the last one that's on here, which is, I won't say the whole thing, is an EM 385 with the Army Corps of Engineering.
Sounds fancy.
It's really not.
I don't know. There's a lot of letters on that thing.
Yeah, the letters in front is actually is the abbreviation of what I just said.
Yeah.
And I had probably 15 clients back in Tucson, Arizona I was working with, and they worked with the military and the federal government. I needed to find out what they were talking about.
Right.
It's actually the OSHA standard of the military. And it's...
But that's a lot of government contracts for construction.
Yes.
I always have to dip into that as well. I'm like, whoa, uncharted territory. So I can understand wanting to find a resource to help with that.
I got the certification so I could understand what they were talking about.
Perfect.
And it helped all of them keep their jobs, because I would go out on the project because they needed somebody on that project every once in a while with the certification. And I said, perfect, I'll be there.
Very cool. Learning based.
Nice.
Love that too.
Well, thank you for being so fancy, Jim.
Yep.
And for traveling to Louisiana.
Hey, I've had a good time out here so far.
I mean, we're a cool place.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be back. I'll
Good.
be back.
Good.